Wait a minute, you're not Andrew Salciunas.
I'm not Andrew Salciunas.
Much more attractive. That's Haley Taylor Simon, or as I call her, HTS. That is great to have Haley in today for post-show headlines. Glad to have my voice somewhat back.
That's a good thing.
It's great. The laryngitis thing was very weird the other day. Hit me.
Yeah.
We were fine in the morning.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it just nosedove. Amy Fadul's got it too, which is weird because Amy and I were not even in the same vicinity or same breathing space.
And that's weird because we don't have like a big number of staff, but yet
Right.
2 people have laryngitis.
So be careful if you get it. Go to a good doctor that gives you steroids. It'll come back and just get yourself some rest. My wife liked the peace and quiet though.
I'm sure she
For
did.
a couple of days. Come on, Hale.
Sorry,
I invite you in on post-show headlines. Haley's here though.
Not even a minute in.
We have 5 questions. You know the drill. Andrew and I usually do this every day. 2 minutes a question. We just sort of kick some things around. We love it when you like and subscribe. And Haley is really the maven of our YouTube content in the morning with Kincade and Salciunas. So we love having Haley on to get to do this with us. I'll go first with a question for you, Haley. Be honest with me.
Okay.
And you can be honest because you know on our show as a staff, we always talk about everything.
We do.
Do you believe I'm too tough on Rob Thomson?
No, because I agree with you. I think Connor, and I'm going to call Connor, I think he's not tough enough on Rob Thomson. I don't get why people defend him all the time. Any manager should have been out there arguing with the umps. I mean, you have Phil Cuzzy, who was missing calls. And again, these calls could have determined the outcome of the game. So by Topper not doing anything, that to me is weak sauce.
And then last night, going to Jordan Romano, you use Romano, a guy who's had a struggle bus all year long. You use him in the 8th inning. He gets you out of it.
Yeah.
I believe at that point you say to yourself, I got a guy that has a positive mindset about an appearance. I'm going to take that as a win. And then I said on Monday night, Rob Thomson said, I didn't want to go back to Kerkering because I want to be able to use him in game 2. Last night, I'm thinking Kerkering's coming back. He doesn't go to Kerkering. He goes to Romano, and then Romano blows it. Yeah. I don't understand. I need my coach to have great strategy.
And he doesn't. I'm over it. He has no personality, and that's people's defense of him. That's what Brendan Gunn was saying. Well, Haley, he doesn't have a big personality. I don't care. You have to manage this team the proper way, or else you're going to lose series like they're going to lose against the Giants. Well, they did already against the Giants.
They already lost that series.
So it's not. They're never going to win a series in San Francisco again.
I said it this morning. If you have a kid who's going to college this fall, they were in kindergarten the last time the Phillies won a series in San Francisco.
It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
And it was an achievable series to win.
It was.
It was really on Rob Thomson.
It really was. Not a good one there. So how about you take the second question, Haley?
All right. So the second question that I have for you, it's a little bit of a life question. But John,
I like it.
I'm going on an airplane tomorrow, and I know that you were just on an airplane.
Yes.
Why do people get to the airport 4 hours before the flight? I will never understand it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. I have a flight. I already told you, and you know about it. I'm going on The Price is Right in August. Now, I hope to get picked.
You will.
We'll do more of that. We're going to do a little social media content on that.
It's going to be fun.
We're cooking up some stuff on this. But I'm going to tell you why I go. Let me go into my wallet.
Okay.
I don't want to, none of the numbers are on this, so I can hold it up for this. It's the Chase Sapphire card.
Oh, yeah.
The Chase Sapphire Lounge at Philadelphia International Airport is the best.
Really? I've only been in the Amex Lounge, but I knew...
Oh, the Amex Lounge is amazing.
That is nice.
Okay.
Open bar.
The Chase Sapphire Lounge is newer.
Mm-hmm.
It's even slightly better.
Okay.
Slightly better. So for me, I have a 1:20 flight to LA on the 7th of August. So I will leave right after we do post-show headlines.
Yeah.
I'll drive right to the airport, and I'll get as much time there. I can get a full lunch. I can get open bar.
Okay.
And I can get some work done in the lounge. I stress if I get to the airport. If I'm not at the airport an hour before my flight, I feel stressed.
Really?
Like something's going to, and thankfully Christina's the same way. So I'm not inconveniencing her.
Right.
Because going anywhere else with my wife, she is absolutely like, if I say, honey, we're leaving at 4,
yeah,
she's usually ready around 3:59.
Oh, wow.
She usually is ready right before I say. So whereas where Andrew finds that Christy, sometimes it can be like 4:10.
Right.
So sometimes you ladies, you can
We're late.
drive us crazy.
Like if I say I'm going to be ready in 5 minutes, it's really like 20.
Right. It's like the last 2 minutes of an NBA game.
Yeah.
with it.
It takes a while.
So you don't mind you don't mind cutting it close?
No. I mean, I went to Florida a couple years ago, and I think I got to the airport 5-10 minutes before my plane began boarding.
You do not crowd the gate, right?
No.
You wait till your boarding group's called?
Yeah. There's no point.
Why
would I stand in a line and wait when I'm not going to get on right away?
I can't stand that.
People are stupid.
People are rude on airplanes.
They lose common sense and common courtesy on airplanes, and then they clap when the plane lands.
That's weird.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Like, don't be that person.
Don't clap. Do you clap like when the SEPTA bus or when the subway gets you to the stadium?
No.
Hey, thanks for getting us there.
No, I get off.
Exactly.
I get off as fast as I can,
as quickly as we can. Yes, let's get off. All right, question number 3. What team do you believe is the most likable in Philadelphia after the Eagles?
Okay,
if you're just basing it on likability, who's the most likable after the Eagles?
Definitely not the Sixers. I would have to go Phillies on this one.
You're going Phillies, and explain why.
I feel like the Phillies, they have, like, I guess, this sense of leniency because of the fact that they have made the postseason. They have guys like Bryce Harper. I feel like they're more likable because of the vibes, and I hate that. I hate that so much.
Well, there's less talk of the vibes this year.
There has been.
They are relatable, though?
They are, like, in an odd way.
Okay, explain that.
I feel like people like the underdog story here in Philadelphia, and this season, while they have been leading in the NL East, they've had some struggles. So I feel like people are kind of adapting to that more. Now, I personally think that the Flyers should be more of a likable team, but I feel like
people don't know them
They
yet?
don't know them. They're all younger guys.
Does it hurt that Mishkov doesn't speak the language yet?
No.
Like, people don't, like, as far as likability?
I think he's the funniest person. He's learning English. Like,
he is, and he's working at it.
Yeah.
He's working at it.
I mean, I think that people like Michkov more than Trey Turner. I just don't think Trey's a likable guy. I don't think Alec Boehm's a likable guy.
It's not that, and it's not the Turner. It's not, and you're not saying Turner and Boehm are not likable people.
Right.
They just don't exude things that people are going to jump in and like them.
Like Kyle Schwarber is a very likable person because he's like a real person. You know, I always say to my friends, if you told me that Kyle Schwarber was from Delco, I would have believed you.
Absolutely.
Because he gives off that energy. But you need to kind of relate to the city to become likable, which is why with the Eagles, there's so many likable players.
I think Kyle Schwarber has a Kelsey vibe without trying.
Kelsey tries too hard. You
heard
it here.
Yes, and look, Kelsey, there's an image.
Yeah.
And now he's playing to play the image.
It's too much.
But he's still, no, I think, look, it works for him.
The bathing suit.
Well, but he lost a bet.
I know.
So he had to do it. He lost a bet.
I just didn't want to see that.
So I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm not Kylie.
But for Kyle Schwarber, I think Kyle Schwarber has the same level of coolness, like the relatability.
Yeah.
But he doesn't try.
And
it's just who he is.
And I'm upset because I feel like people didn't really get to see Joel Farabee. He really did love Philly. And
he did.
Like, Schwarber's going yard. Like, he would literally go from Flyers games to Phillies games.
Sure.
So I hope that people kind of tune in a little bit more to the hockey team.
I think Rick Tocchet being coach is going to draw some people back, especially people who look more like me.
Right.
Draw some people back into the Flyers tent to give them a shot.
Good.
So hopefully they do. What's question 4?
All right. So this is a hockey question.
I like it.
All right. So when did fighting in hockey go from being part of the game to now an instant penalty? Is it maybe a little bit too soft now with the rules that the NHL has?
I think the world's gone this way, Haley.
I think so.
And it's the world you've grown up in.
Yep.
And to me, it does bother me that it's the world you've grown up in. And I hate sounding like, well, back in my day, let me tell you there again. But it's reality. When I worked in the NHL, every team had to employ 1 or 2 players that would protect other players.
Yep.
Because of the physical nature of the game, it was so physical. You needed a enforcer, but you also needed Dave Brown. You needed a winger who you thought could still be a viable player, but you still needed an Ed Hospodar.
Right.
You still needed a Dave Schultz. You still needed and some of these guys that were enforcers, like Dave Schultz, could go out there and still could score goals.
Absolutely.
Like there was a nuance to it. Nowadays, everybody's like, if someone's is more of a enforcer type, they're a goon.
Right.
It's painted as a goon. Mike Missinelli, our own Mike Missinelli, who I love you, Mike, but Mike paints it as it's Neanderthal. You hockey fans, you love the fighting. I love
part of the game.
See, I think it is too, because you're playing that sport.
It's a contact sport.
And it's in a phone booth. You're playing in very tight quarters. And the players are bigger.
Yep.
And sometimes emotions take over. And I believe that two guys want to throw down, it's perfectly fine.
I had an interview with Riley Cote, and he told me the same thing, that he doesn't like that there's not enough fighting now.
And the thing
that was
is,
his job.
Now, the thing is, when you talk to Riley about it, I'd be really interested, too, that when you're doing one of those interviews, hearing, too, is that how many guys fight with guys and then can have a conversation with them after the game?
He said they do. They're cool about it because it's part of the game. And that's the thing about sports that I wish I got to see a little bit more in my childhood and even now is the physicality. Being safe, but still physicality.
I mean, if you think about it, people still say the Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah.
But if you look at me, Broad Street Bullies was 4th grade.
Yeah.
3rd grade and 4th grade.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Stone tablets instead of books. But 3rd and 4th grade, that was the Broad Street Bullies. Right. 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. Like, it's so old time, but it's still brought up.
Yeah,
like people loved it and people enjoyed it.
If the Flyers were able to become more of a physical team, which I do,
I believe they will, since they're going to get bigger.
Oh, 6
and
they
did.
And
you were at training camp.
Yep.
You were at the youth camp.
Yeah,
the rookie camp.
The very young guys. But I mean, it's going to be a much more physical team. And guys like Carter Amico, he said that he wants to bring the physicality because hockey is a contact sport.
I love seeing it. All right, final question. And do you think, and you can be honest with me again.
Okay.
We just got back from Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
Christina, when she came to this country, she grew up in Miramar, which is sort of like between Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
We decided, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. We hadn't been there in a long, long time. We both decided we will never go back to Fort Lauderdale. We've aged out of it.
Yeah.
And Fort Lauderdale was nothing like we remember it being 20 years ago. Are there places you would tell your parents, or maybe Christina and I, that we don't need to go anymore?
Oh, wow.
At our age group. Like to vacation. Because honestly, we both knew within one night that we'd made a mistake going to Fort Lauderdale. We had a great time laying at the pool, taking a walk on the beach. But overall, the whole vibe, we were like, too old. We're not made for this anymore. This place isn't for us anymore.
That's a good question.
Anybody place you can think of where you'd say to your parents, don't go? You've been to Miami?
I have been to Miami.
Do you think your parents belong in Miami?
Depends on the location. South Beach, no. But I think there's other parts of Miami.
So South Beach, no.
That's like I don't even like that. It's very overwhelming. It's you know what it is? And I hate to be mean to the Wildwood people, but it's like Wildwood, but on steroids.
Right. It is.
Say for how it is.
It's more expensive.
Yeah.
Miami, South Beach.
Very
But South Beach to me, like we know South Beach well.
Yeah.
Like Liv wanted to see it. We took her when she was in high school.
Yeah.
But we didn't stay in South Beach. We went and saw it a couple times.
I feel like we're very similar though of places that we go to. Like we both love Vegas.
Love Vegas.
New Orleans.
Right.
I don't like going to those like party scenes. Like I would never go to Nashville.
See, I love Nashville.
I've never
been. Now Nashville's cool because you'll go to Nashville.
Yeah.
You will find as many people looking like you as look like me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, but we might not hang out at the same place.
I just feel like it's a very overwhelming atmosphere from what I see.
It is overwhelming.
And you know what's funny too, John?
A lot of Connors in Nashville. That might change your opinion about going. You never know.
Why, good or bad?
A lot of guys look like Connors. A lot of Connor types. They're all, they look like Connor. A lot of Connor types.
Or Connor looks like them.
Or Connor looks like them.
I mean, he was born in the South.
He was. Yes, he was. South of the Mason.
It's funny. Whenever I speak to Connor and I get reminded that his middle name is Brooks.
There it is.
It's the funniest thing.
Gets to you.
CBT.
Hey, what do we know? HTS.
HTS.
Great job. Great job filling in the last few days.
Thank you.
And everybody, you can follow Haley Taylor Simon on social media, which you should be doing.
You should.
And our Flyers coverage continues to amp up as the Flyers get better and better around here. And you've got so much stuff going on. Everybody be watching it all fall long. So thanks for joining us. Kincade and Salciunas back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on YouTube.
Hey guys, Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed. Full shows, interviews, when John's being an idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.